Marco here, welcome back to my little mini Thaumcraft series. I'm out in the Twilight Forest here, so I'm going to start this episode, as I said last time, by grabbing a node. And if I look through my thermometer here, I've got a nice 96 node here. Unfortunately at the minute I've got a bit of an issue, is that when I logged on, my helmet's gone missing. So I need to remake my goggles of revealing and my Thaumcraft helmet, put them back together again. So I'll do that in just a bit after I've captured this. I should have actually done that before I come travelled here, because it made finding this node a little bit harder than it needed to be, really. So what I'm going to do is, I've got some glass and some wood, that's all you need. Someone's shooting me. I got quite a bit of crossfire there by the Dark Mage by the look of it. So this node is just over here. So I'll waste one piece of glass here, I think, and should be to start surrounding this now. So yeah, as if my helmet's gone missing. So this is one of the two ways you can really fill your wands up nice. This is one way. Another way is by killing mobs. I've actually gone wrong there, haven't I? Another way is by killing mobs. So this is the way I prefer doing it. Sis on the Resident Raz server, for example, prefers to have a mob grinder and get it that way. So you have got choices. You don't have to do this, but I think it's a good thing to know and a good thing to have. Now, what I try and get is a node of each type. Unfortunately, I've not been able to find a Pedestal node. This thing is called an angel block, by the way, from extra utilities. It's useful because you can place it floating, so you can actually use it for little platforms in the air and stuff, which is quite cool. So that's what I was just using that for there. So there we go, we've got the node in there, glass below it, let's turn my sword off, glass below it, glass around it, and then we go glass above it. If you remember, we did the research for this last time, and then all I need to do is put some wood across the top and get rid of this glass block here. In fact, before I do that, let's just get my wand out of my bag there. And now all I need to do is give that a right click with your wand, boop, and it'll turn into a node in a jar, which is wonderful. Then just break that, and off we go to the back to the overworld. So I'll just tell Dave that I'm not making new chunks, and I'll meet you back in the overworld. See you in a bit. Okay then, and here I am back at base. I've got my jar with me. I've remade my helmet revealing. I've not enchanted it yet, because that's something I want to get on with in this episode, is a better way of enchanting. So what we want to do now, though, well, we've got this, we've got our aqua. What I've got up here is, now I don't know why I put them down here and not up in my Thaumcraft room. I might actually move my Thaumcraft room down one and have that next room as my machine room at some point. But anyway, I'll put all these here. Now what you want to make sure you do with these is leave one gap in between. So if you've got two, well, leave one gap in the machine, then potentially you could encase them again and move them again. The thing is though, when you move these, see that's become pale. Now that's a normal. That's normal, that's pale, that's pale. These were all normals when I got them. When you move them in a jar, there's a chance of them becoming pale. Pale means the regen's slower. So that's a normal at the minute. Let's see what happens with our wand when we give it a tickle. So you just click it with your wand, and that stayed normal, so that's good. So even pale ones go quick enough anyway. You also get ones that can actually fade. I think it's called fading. And they'll gradually get lower and lower, so if you end up fading, then yeah, you don't want it. So there is a chance you can damage the node when you're moving it in a jar, so you don't want to move them too much. So you kind of want to make sure you've got a decent place. Now all I'm missing here is a decent Pedestal one, which I've not had a chance, I've not found one, but what I kind of aim for is around 100, a pure 100, or a normal 100 of each. So if I find a Pedestal, then that'd go there. I might have to get a mixed one, because like I say, I've not been able to find a decent Pedestal just on its own. But there we go, we've got them now. So whenever I use stuff like my wand, then I can fill 5 of my 6 aspects here, and there is Pedestal around. There's one I'll show you. There's one just over here. That's got some Pedestal in it. Why don't I fly? There we go. There we go. So that's got 42, so I can just jump down here and get some if I need some. Well, back up we go. And I'll put that away. So, right, that's that part done then. So that's one good way of getting your wand filled up, and having that in your workshop means you can do quite a bit of stuff with your magic area and make some things and quickly refill your wand back up and then make some more things. So that's good. And as I said, the other way of doing that is having a mob farm of some kind, because mobs drop little bits of aspects as well, so you can fill up a wand pretty quick doing that. I have changed a couple of things since you last seen me in a Thaumcraft episode. I've moved the crucible and the alchemical furnace over here. The crucible I've got feeding from a enderite reservoir and a fluid conduit. So down below there's just a reservoir set to pump mode, and that's pumping water straight into there, which is pretty cool, because then you don't have to mess around refilling it all the time. So if I shift click that, get rid of the water, you'll see the water just comes back in because the pump's filling it up, which is nice. So you don't have to mess around with water then. You can get a golem to do that, of course, which would be the arcane way of doing it, but I actually like having it so that I don't actually have to fiddle around. Now, I think a transvector interface can do that from Thaumic, which I have used a couple, so I'll show you a couple of them. Now, I also made some boots to the Traveller, and you can see they're pretty well damaged. I'm not happy with the way I'm getting enchants, so I have been using this auto box enchanter that stores liquid XP, but I'm not really happy with how that's working. There is infusion enchanting from the infusion altar over here. Where's my Thaumic? There it is. So we can do infusion enchanting, and that's alright. It's not too bad. So, for example, I put repair 2 on an item. I needed 2 Salas Mundus because you've got to do it twice, 1 for each level. So, to get repair 2 on something, I needed 18 levels, 2 anvils, 2 Salas Mundus, and some aspects. So, it's a bit time consuming. Some of them seem a bit more straightforward. So, that's the only one I tried. I put repair on. What did I put repair on? I put repair on something. Not sure. Maybe the previous helmet that I lost. Don't know what happened to that. I don't know if it was an update that made it disappear, or I don't know if I've actually thrown it on the floor and forgot about it. But yeah, it's very strange. So there is that way of doing things. Pretty good, but yeah, I think there's a better way. And the better way I think there is this thing, Osmotic Enchanting, and I'm hoping to get onto that in this episode as well. We also want this thing, Spellbinding Cloth, which I have researched by mistake. It's one of the things that I researched when I was trying to research something else. So I got Spellbinding Cloth, and that's really straightforward when you look at it. All you do is throw a bit of enchanted fabric in your crucible with some aspects. You get the Spellbinding Cloth, and what that can do is you put it in your inventory. So say if that was it, put it in there with an enchanted item, like that, and it would just rub all the enchants off and take a little bit of durability off the cloth, which is good. There is other ways, depending on what other mods you've got in. You may want to use, it's like Unbreaking 3 is quite good on that, so I won't mind taking that off. You may want to use like MFR and use the Auto Disenchanter. That can pull enchants off one at a time, but it does some damage, so it could destroy them. But like that, I'd like to get Repair 2 or Blast Protection off them. Well, Blast Protection I don't want, but Repair 2, it's a shame just to get rid of a Spellbinding Cloth. So with an Auto Disenchanter, if you've got MFR, then you're probably better doing it like that. But if you haven't, and you've only got Thaumcraft and Thaumic Tinkerer, then Spellbinding Cloth can get that blast protection off, so then you could put proper protection on, although you would lose your repair in the process. But, right, so later in the episode we're going to get on to enchanting. Before that though, we need to sort our infusion altar out, and we have a couple of things to do that. The first one is these guys, Essentia tubes. Now I've done the research, but I haven't done it in yet, so you can see that there's 3 aspects in this. There's aqua, there's, I think it's Pedestal. Let me just double check that, make sure I'm not lying to you. Essentia tubes, yeah, Pedestal. The light blue's aqua, the green's Pedestal, and the purple's of course Bricantatio. That's going to get as Essentia tubes, so I've got that. So let's eat that. and then have a look at what the crack is. In fact, I've done this one as well, Void Jar. We'll eat that as well because it's in the same place, so I might as well look at them both together. And that uses Aqua again, plus Vacuous and Pedestal. So that's Pedestal, that's Vacuous. And that gets us a Void Jar. Now the Void Jars are really quite cool. So I've eaten both of them. Now let's have a look at them in our Thaumcraft. So we want to be in the alchemy page. And down here, there's a couple of other things that we haven't done yet. Fills with Essentia tubes, you can put a label on. Labels will come to in just a minute as well. Essentia tubes is what we've just done. This is quite cool as well, by the way. Thaumic Restorer. You could might have a look at that in this episode as well. We might be getting into a bit of Thaumic Tinkerer stuff in this episode. But Essentia tubes, pretty straightforward. You get 6 for a bit of aqua, a bit of ordo, some gold, some iron, quicksilver, and some glass. So what I'm going to go do, I'm going to go get them bits ready because I couldn't quite remember what they were. And there's also these really cool valves that look really cool, if nothing else. I think it's pretty straightforward. I might make a couple of valves as well. So I'm going to go get the bits ready for them. So I don't have to run around because these episodes get a bit long. So I'm going to try and cut out some of the middle stuff. And I'll be back when I'm ready to make them. And then we'll start connecting all our jars up. Awesome. Okay then, I'm back and I've got a few things ready to go. I guess the next thing I should look at first though is, like I said I would, let's have a quick look in the thing at the brain, not the brain in the jar, at the, what was it called? Where was I? Alchemy. Where you go? There you are. Void Jar. So the Void Jar, it's like our normal warded jar. Bit of obsidian above, bit of ender pearl below. We get, and use some Pedestal and some aqua, makes it into a Void Jar, and that's what we're going to be doing to at least a couple of these, probably all of them eventually, but I'll show you with one when we get going with the pipes, so I'll come back to that. Right, I've got a few things ready, as I said I was going to. I've only got 8 quicksilver at the minute, so that limits how many of these we can make. I've put on my full discount suit, so it's going to be as cheap as possible, so let's make as many as we can of them. So we've got 48, which isn't really enough, but it's a start. And while I'm here, I'm just going to make 2 of them into... So the item grate, as you saw, was really straightforward. Trapdoor and iron bar. So that's not even in an arcane workbench. And of course, levers are also very basic. That lets us turn a couple of these into valves, just because valves look cool. There is a reason to use these for certain builds. If you're using this thing, for example, that we haven't researched, this thing can split aspects down into separate ones, but we don't need that. I'm just doing them for looks because they look awesome. And while I'm here also, let's quickly, now if I've done my maths right here, I want have a little bit of excess here, so it could be a bit messy. Only 2 of them I need. So 1 of them, 2 of them, 2 of them, 4 of them, and then that thing, boop, gets us spellbinding cloth. Cool, so we've got a bit of spellbinding cloth there. We've got some aspects left in that, so let's just get rid of them. So I'm going to do the old shift right click with a wand. There we go, and nothing detrimental, no purple stuff appeared, so I think that's safe. There we go. And so we've got that for later on. We'll just put that to one side for now, but I thought I'd make it on camera. So what we can do with these now then is we can start wiring our alembics across to our jars. Now I think I'm doing this a bit different. I think I'm going to have one lot of jars on top of the other, because this, although it looks alright, when we get these wired up like so, the front row kind of stops you seeing the back row quite a lot. So I think I'm going to change this about a bit, but I'm just going to do a little temporary setup for now. So basically what you can do is you can set your things up there. So what have we got covered here? We've got well, that's full. I'm on the server at the minute with Poppycocks and Pokevent. Do it. So you can see these are all connected now. So now if we throw anything in the alchemical furnace, then the aspects that it puts out will just get put straight into there. Let's use one of these valves. Like I say, the valves look really cool. I was saying to someone on the Utopia server the other day, I've worked in a chemical plant, and we had bits that was new and modern, we had bits that was old, and this is kind of like the valves on the old stuff, and it's very steampunky and cool. So that'll just stop the flow of things there. So for any reason, if you want to stop the flow, you can just put them valves in. Really nice. So I'll come back and do that in a bit and sort all this out. Now, we aren't quite finished here yet. There's two more things we want to be doing. Now, one of them, we might as well make one of these into a void jar. So I can show you one there. So I've grabbed one of them, and I believe I needed ender pearl and obsidian. So let's grab them. So I'll take 16 and 16. So I'm probably going to make all these into void jars. I'll show you for why in a minute, but we'll start off with just a little bit. So ender pearls, obsidian, normal water jar in the middle, 4 and 12 it's going to cost us, and that makes it into a void jar. Right, so let us put this back for now, and we want it connected. So let's swap it for this stuff, Lamus, I believe that's called, and that comes from, is it Lamus? Yep, Lamus. That comes from slams and stuff like that. I can go back there. So now that's connected. Right, the main key of how all this works is a thing we haven't made yet, and it uses ink sacs, slime balls, and paper. I believe that's right. Yep, it gets us these things, jar labels. These are absolutely awesome. These are actually what kind of like changes the whole thing, because once we put a jar label on a jar with some aspects in it, so that for example, that now can only accept aurum. Even if that aurum empties out, it can only accept aurum, so that'll stay empty. So because we've got one of each jar, a jar for each aspect, we can put a label on every jar. You can get them back off again. Does it destroy the label in the process? No, it doesn't. So you get your label back. That's cool. So I can actually, not that labels are expensive, but so now precantatio would only come into there, and because that's nearly full, if we had more precantatio in there, then things obviously will get blocked up once that gets to 64. If we've got a jar, if we've got a label in every jar, it can't go any further. What the void jar does, strange, it's not a silly void jar. So we'll see, if I put that label on there, that should pull that back out of there. And it has, look, let's put it back in there. Now void jars kind of attract that. That's weird. That should have even with the label off, that should have stayed in there. I thought, that's my understanding. Look at that, it's putting it back in there again. What are you doing, damn jar? Very odd. No, it's missing by the look of it. Oh, it's back. So that was in the pipe somewhere. Strange. I put it on the wrong side of the pipe. Wrong side of the jar. Never mind. So what we can do with a void jar is, if our precantatio is in the void jar and we put more stuff with precantatio aspects into here, then it'd fill up to 64. Then anything more than 64, it'll just magically disappear, so it won't block the system off. So that's why you want all your jars to be void jars. So then what it'll do is, you can just forget things, then you can just throw stuff in there whenever you want, and then you don't have to worry about where it's going to go, because if it's going to go into a full jar, so say for example I'd use some of this, say I took it all out as vials, so there's only like 8 in here, and meantime this was connected and this was still full, this hairbe, and I threw a stack of nether wart into the furnace there. Now I'd want the precantatio of the nether wart to go into there, which it would, but if this wasn't a void jar, wasn't labelled, then that'd get stuck in the alembics, yeah? But if this is a void jar, then any excess will just get magically dissipated, and there we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go sort out all the pipes. I'm going to go get maybe a bit more quicksilver, I have to go mine some, and then I'm probably going to change all these into void jars as well, and I'll build a little system. I'll come back and show you that. So that'll take me a little bit of time, and then after that we'll get on to the enchanting portion of the episode, I think. Back in a bit. Okay then, several hours later, it feels like, maybe only two hours, several hours later it feels like, and I have got all my jars are all void jars, and you can see most of them full. So if anything, if any corpus or bestiate was to go into the system at the minute, then they would automatically get voided. I'll just turn that off, so I'm not getting regen and damaged. Now, I've got a couple left to do. I've got one thing to throw in here, which is 32 soul sand. So you see, that's going to give us Spiritus, Terra, and Vinculum. I think it's Vinculum. Is that what that one's called? Vinculus, something like that. So you'll see that we've got room for Terra and Spiritus. We've got room for 24. We're going to get 32. So you'll see when this goes in, these will all fill up. Now I believe these are a little bit. The pull on these void ones is a little bit lower pressure than the normal jars with the labels. So if I had a normal jar with a label and then this jar with a label next to it with the same label on, it'd go to the normal jar first, then the void jar. So the label on the normal jar would make it pull a bit quicker. If that makes sense. So what we need here is to put our last bottle down, because we need room for the vinculum to come into, and it should go into there like magic. Then there it is. So I've put our last label on. Wonderful. And that's everything. With 51, so there's 50 here. I'm going to have one on the back. And this at the minute, this is still a normal jar. It's got Volatus in it, which is a feather symbol. And I'll show you how I've been transferring them. So I had quite a few things in normal jars anyway. I researched this thing up here called Essentia funnel. And the Essentia funnel is from Thaumic Tinkerer, and I presume it's in alchemy. There it is. Essentia funnel, all it is a couple of bits of stone either side of a Thaumic ingot once you've researched it. Very cheap to make. And what you do with that is you put it on top of a vanilla hopper. You put your receiving jar, doesn't have to be a void jar, it could be a normal jar, whatever, underneath, and you get your jar you want to empty, and you just right click on the thing there. So you can see it it's sat on top of the hopper. Right click that, it'll place your jar to be emptied on the top, and it'll bang it straight into your jar to be filled. Lovely. So that is our last one, and because there's 51 aspects, it makes my system a little bit scruffy. That's alright. So I'm going to have it there. Actually, no, in fact I'm going to have it up there, because I kind of like having that valve for absolutely no reason. There we go. So there's 51 aspects. So we can make whatever we want now. Now, in the process of running around looking for a Pedestal node, which I've still been unable to find a decent one, my boots of the travel actually got destroyed because I run them too low. So all my stuff's getting damaged. So which is why I want to look at for the rest of the episode. So I've got one spare jar of all them, so I must have made 52 jars. So that's quite good going. There we go. So there's what the Essentia funnel looks like. So that can go into my magic drawer. I was just making some. Saw there I had some repeaters, vanilla repeaters to get that aspect. I think it's called Tempest, the time aspect. So let us make quickly before we carry on. Let's make another pair of infusion, yeah, artifice. Let's make another pair of boots of the traveller. Enchanted fabric, leather boots, feathers, raw fish, air shards. Tell you what, I'll get all that stuff together. 25 and 25. I've got 64 Volatus because that's full, and Iter will be down here. Is 7, so we need to get more Iter in there before we do that as well. So next time I break, which will be after we do our next bit of research, we can look for that. So our next bit of research then is, because now we have got down here, we've got the spellbinding cloth done and made. We can actually go on for the Osmotic Enchanter. So that needs Alianis, Aurum, Cognito, Procancio and Tenebrae. So what should we start with? Let's try starting with Aurum, see what that gives us. One recharge pedestal, that's quite a nice item as well, so we might as well do that. One recharge pedestal. So Aurum. I ain't done no research on camera, I don't think, in this episode yet, so I'll do a little bit. Fermentation. So that could get us to there. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. So I need the next thing as well. Potentia and Frequentatio. So I'll have Frequentatio in there. And screw it with the Potentia as well. So something else I want to research, and that was good timing because I just run out of ink, is something new added by Thaumic Tinkerer, which is an upgraded scribing tool, which is really cool. I don't know if that's showing in the book. Where would that be showing? Don't know. Might have to unlock something else to get that showing. I think I'm certain it's in the version that I've got. So it's just a case of finding it. We haven't done any Golemancer yet, which we will be getting onto. It's not in there, and it's not in there. So there is. It's there somewhere though. There is an advanced one of these. Right. I'll find out that next time I break camera as well. So have I filled that up, or is that empty still? I forgot if I even filled it up. I did fill it up. So 1. Move that across. We can come down to there. Move that across. Move that down 1. And what was our first thing again? Aurum, wasn't it? Let's put the Aurum back in again. I should have took a snapshot of this so I could see what I was doing. So that ain't reaching that just yet. But that's because that's in the way probably. That is only one gap I think. So that, even though it looks like a bigger gap, that should still fit. That's going to go there to there to there. So next I'm going to want you out the way. You over here. And then down 1, and then that'll connect. You'll go up there. That should connect. So I think I just need to block things now, and we should be good to go. There we go. Wonderful. 1 recharge pedestal. We'll get to that later, but because we've got nodes in our house, the 1 recharge pedestal is something we could be good to go for. So that is there. And we infuse that. Mana, 4 diamonds, pedestal, a hopper, and a gold ingot. Well, it'd be rude not to, as I've got a hopper on me. I've got a pedestal in here, I think. I have. So 4 diamonds and a gold ingot. Yeah? So gold ingot. And have I got 4 diamonds? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Still a bit of infusion, seeing as I've not got the boots ready to go. So, oops, wrong thing. Come here, you. I'll turn that on. So, bad practice. What I should have done is I should have grabbed extras of each thing, but I haven't. 1, 2. No. So that wants. Pick you up. That's kind of opposite that one, yeah? So I want that to be opposite that one. And let's just check that again. We want, yep, hopper and a gold ingot. So as I said last time, you should really make sure that you have got 2 of each thing when you're doing this, because it makes it safer if something gets knocked off. And the pedestal goes in the middle. And let's just check what aspects we require for this. So we need 10 aurum, 15 permutatio, 15 frequentatio. So we've got plenty of frequentatio. We've got 24 of them. So 15, that's safe. And aurum, we needed 10. We don't have enough aurum. 8. It was 10, wasn't it? 10 aurum. Right. So what I can do is jump over here. Grab some of these guys. Now, I don't think my terror's full. But it doesn't matter. If it was full, it'd just get voided. But as it is. It's not full anyway. So we can just sling them in there. Don't have to worry about where any extra is going to go, because it's just going to magically get voided. And that's going to go up to over 10. 9, 10. Come on. So the pipes are a little slow. And as I said, I think the fact I've got void jars is slowing it down a bit more. If you look on here, it does say minor instability, so I'm not expecting anything bad to go wrong, but you never know. So that's got 16 in there now, that's safe. And that won't fill up anyway, but let's do it. So we're pulling in the aurum. Pulling the Precantatio. And look, there you go, look, diamond's fallen off. Put the diamond back on quickly. There goes the Permutatio. Oh, another diamond's fell off. I'll put it back on the wrong slot maybe. So we had 2 diamonds fall off there. But we are successful, wonderful. So what we can do with this is place that down, and because we've got these nodes, rather than carry my wand around with me, look at that, I can just leave my wand on there whenever I'm not using it, and it will magically fill up. Look at that, it's back up to 100 and all the stuff, apart from the node I ain't got, of course, which is the Permutatio. Wonderful. Yeah, I like that. Very nice. Right, so let's try our next bit of research then. So we're still aiming for Osmotic Enchanter. So I'm going to go for Aurum again. Infernal Furnace. Now, we'll quick try Alienis. Oh, there we go. That's cool. I'll do that later on, the Infernal Furnace. So, Alienis. So this is going to be a tricky one, isn't it? See, we've got to go all over the shop. So, it may be worth binning this one and starting again, but it looks like we're getting a lot of stuff. Well, we're getting loads, aren't we? So Precantatio and Tenebra still to go in as well. So Precantatio and Tenebra, there it is. Look at all them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a sniffing tool that comes with Windows, just so I can get a picture of that, like so. I can move that to one side. I can refer back to that. So, Christ, this is crazy. And which way should I go? I might as well go clockwise. No, that's going to be... well, we'll have to go from there somewhere along anyway, so we might as well. So, let's start by moving these up. So, I generally try and go one colour at a time. So, make a bit of space. We'll start bringing these across. So, gap, gap, and then that's one, isn't it? So, up to there, and then the other one was this one here. You're nothing, you can go out of the way. So we're up to there, so we still need to connect to that still. So let's go with the next thing, which is, can be one of them. So many of these we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. So that would connect us from there to there, which is good. Come out the way. You go out the way, and this mic connects from there, so there to there. We need a connection from there to there as well, don't we? So get out the way, you. Yeah, that's nothing. So my ink's going down pretty quick. God, it's tricky this. Remembering stuff. Not the doing of, it's just remembering stuff. My memory's terrible. So that was one of them, wasn't it? So let's get you out of the way. Where do you come from? Let's move that down. I could have got a shorter route with that, I'm sure. But that should connect. Then we've still got one in play, so I might as well bring that right down here. Swap you for you. We'll bring you right down to sit there, and that should connect to there, in theory. So let's turn these two back on. So one of them was aurum, I'm fairly sure. It was pinkish, wasn't it? Yeah. And then one of them was precantatio. Good. So we are looking good there. So that's going to join to that. So all I need to do really is join. Oops. We need to block that. Like so. And if we block that, wonderful, we have got it. Excellent. So there we go, Osmotic Enchanter. Now let's see how I've met this. I've not actually looked how to make this. So that can just go in the table out the way. And we'll do that later in Infernal Furnace. So look into here, we have now got this thing. And to make that, it's infusion and it's dangerous. This is going to be fun, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 obsidian tiles. I've not actually got any of them, damn it. I have to use a spellbinding cloth in there as well. 2 Thaumic, that's easy. Enchanting table's easy. So I'm going to have to go get some obsidian tiles. I know where there is some. Now your obsidian tiles and your obsidian totems, these are in the wild. They are generally in the bigger selections. They are little totems with a bigger obsidian base, and you have a chest and a wisp spawner. I'm sure you've seen them before. So that's where we need to get these from. I've got plenty of totems. I didn't know I needed tiles as well, so let's go get some tiles. So I shall see you in a bit once I've got the tiles. I'll drop near Pokefan's house. And I'll get the infusion thing set up to make some more boots. And I'll get the other bits ready for the infuser, and we'll get that done. The enchanting table, should I say. And I'll be back when that's all ready. Okay, they're back, and fortune favours the brave. I'm just going to go for it and do the boots in just a second. I've not got no extra parts. What I did, I saw a node on the way that had 30 odd Feditio in there. Fedito, that's the one. Forgot the name then. But look at that, when I placed it here, it was a normal node. When I place it down, it's become a fading node. So you see, that's not actually regenning. That, if I take that out of there, it's going to stay on one now. And not regen, so I'm going to probably end up destroying that node in a bit just to get rid of it. But I thought it might get me a little bit of Pedestal on the one while I found a better one, but unlucky, it didn't. So make sure we've got enough stuff in here. We've got plenty of Volatus, and I put some Ender Pearls in, so we've got enough Iter now as well. Wonderful. And I think we've got everything. I hope we've got everything. So 2 air shards, 2 bits of fabric, enchanted fabric of course, a fish, and a feather that's fallen off. Get back up there, feather, before you cause problems. So keep an eye on everything. Make sure nothing goes wrong. I'm hoping it's eating. Yeah, it's eating the air shard, not knocked it off. So feather and fish just to go. So that's the one thing that I've made off camera in the infusion. So now I've done it on camera, and I'll try and get these ones enchanted before we actually break anything. Now this next one's a lot scarier because, as you can see, this is a dangerous one. And I didn't get the enchantment table ready, did I? Damn it. Let me quickly make an enchanting table. So, if I remember correctly, that's 2 diamonds, some obsidian. I went and got 24 tiles and a couple more totems from the thing, by the way. And a book. Is that right? That's right. There we go. So, let's have a look at this again. Right, let's make sure we've got them 20 vacuous, 50 brick and ratio, 20 potentia, 10 cognito, 20 alienis. So let's say we should have all of them. So vacuous is 32, yep. Brick and ratio 61, yep. What else was in there? Cognito, we're at a full 64. Potentia and alienis. With the 2 alienis, we should be quite high. Yeah, full 58, nearly 64. And potentia is 57. So that's all good. We need some of our obsidian totems there. No, we don't. We need tiles for this, don't we? So I'll keep the totems out of the way so I don't get mixed up. I'll keep the obsidian out of the way so I don't get that mixed up either. I made a second spellbinding cloth because one was going to get consumed in this, of course. So 2 Thaumic ingots. So I'll get another couple of Thaumic ingots. 1, 2, 3, 4 in case all that goes tits up. So what do we want then? We want. So it's all about balance. This 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll have another one on the back. 5. And then one of them. Oops, wrong button. 6. Our 2 ingots. There and there. So everything's loaded up. Enchanting table goes in the middle. Now I want tiles in one slot, ingots in another, spellbinding cloth in another, magnets turned on, so I can replace everything if it all goes wrong. We've got enough materials in. Let's go for it. Oh shit. So there's a bang but nothing's fallen off. It's quite scary this, I like it. So I'm taking damage. I should eat something. Nothing's fallen off, has it? Oh yeah, it has. Shit. I've lost obsidian tile fell off. What was over here? Oh, spellbinding cloth. I put 2 on, didn't I? By mistake. So that I might have made that worse. 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I didn't. Putting that back on. I might have cocked up here. Did I lose a tile from over there, or did I not? This might make things go wrong. So, no, things are going in. Ouch. Oops. So, you can make these nice and tight and close. It maybe pays you to have them a little bit more space just so you can see what's going on a bit better. I think we're nearly there. And, hooray! Well, it didn't use a cloth. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Just used a bit of durability off it. So that has given us a Osmotic Enchanter. Wonderful. Now this creature, if we're looking here on the next page, we've done that bit. Can't turn the page because it doesn't actually tell me how to do it, does it? Thought it showed a picture, but it doesn't. So the table will slowly drain V from the wand until it's done. For this to work, there needs to be 6 pillars in the nearby vicinity within 4 blocks. These pillars need to be at the same level of the table. The pillars need to be made of 2 to 12 obsidian totem blocks stacked on top of one another with a piece of nitre on the top of them. So I might have to make a bit more nitre here because I ain't got 6 nitre, I'm sure. So 2 nitre, let's quickly... Tell you what, I'll cut the camera, get some nitre made, I'll work out where these want to be, and I'll come back and I'll do that because the video will be getting long. Back in a sec. That was scary. Whew. So here we are then, I've got my pillars. So it's just 2 obsidian totems each. I've got 6 totems around the Osmotic enchanter in the middle there. And I've got a nitre on top of each. These are just decorative obsidian blocks from chisel. So they don't need to be there. But I think this should work. I've not tried it. So let's have a go. What we need to do is we need to put a wand in. Like so. Look at that. That's cool, isn't it? And then let's go with our helmet first. And what you do, you get a set of stuff across here, so you can add things into it. So we're going to want repair. Now I'll just turn any eye off for this. Repair 2 is going to cost me 24, 6. How much Pedestal have I got in there? 12. So I should be able to get that. So if we hit this button, and what you see is it's taking things out of the wand. It's taking the aspects from the wand. Brilliant. So that shows you how much you need, and there we go. Oh no, we don't. What's happened? It's not worked. Times 24. Base cost. Looks like that's failed. And the helmet's disappeared. Oh, it's there. Oh. Here we go. So I'll click that again. No. 13 and 14. Okay, there's not enough auto in there, Pedestal in there, look. So, give me 1 sec. I can't take that out while it's in there. I need to get... I can take the wand out. I don't think I can take the item out. So I need to get a bit more Pedestal in there. 1 more. I bet this hasn't regened. Can't even see it because I haven't got my goggles on. No, and it's got 1 in it. Can I pull that 1 out? I don't think I can. And... no, fairly sure I can't. So that node's dead. So I will just quickly have to... I'm just going to destroy that node. I can't see it. I'm quickly going to go get some Pedestal in my wand. Back in a sec and we'll finish that off. So there we go. I jumped downstairs to the node out there. I've got 41 Pedestal in there. So if I put my wand back in, look at that. That's sweet. I love the way it puts the item on top of the table. Put that back in there. There we go. Cool. Repair 2. So you see, it's quite expensive on the wand, but if you have nodes around, then you can gradually build up your items exactly how you want them. You notice it didn't take any levels off me, so it doesn't take your levels anymore to enchant. All it takes is your V, which is kind of awesome. So I'm not sure if this creates any badness. I don't know if these create any kind of taint or anything. Don't believe they do, but I'll keep my eye on it. So it's just a case of, now you can see why I wanted nodes in my house. I just wanted to be able to do this nice and quick. So the nodes will regen, I can keep enchanting stuff, so I can end up with protection 4, repair 2 on all my items, haste on the legs, etc, etc, etc. So by the next time you see me in the next Thaumcraft episode, I'll have a full set of awesome armour, and I won't have to worry about it getting damaged like it is at the minute, or like it has been, and we'll be ready to move on to something else. So personally, I think if you've got Enchanting Plus, a mod that makes Enchanting very easy, then you may not want to do this. But you want good gear, you don't want to destroy your gear, so I think once you've got your infusion setup done, you probably want to move on to getting, well, you want nodes first, then your infusion, and then you want to get all your gear sorted. So I think that's a good way to go. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope it was informative and entertaining, and I hope you join me next time. Cheers, bye. Okay, I'm back just for a second. I did something slightly wrong there. If you look, if I put my Thaumic chestplate in there, I can't actually enchant that. You need to do it on a item that has not been enchanted before. So for us, that means we'll have to do the helmet again. If we want to put anything else on it, we could enchant the boots. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to put in everything you want at once. So you're going to want protection 4, you're going to want feather falling, you're going to want haste 3, feather falling 4, and repair 2. So you're going to want everything on there at once. And then you'll see that, look, it actually needs 88, 92, 56, 56, 152, 219. So you see it actually builds up quite a lot. So you have to do it all at once. So you really need your nodes near. Okay, 50-minute episode. I apologise for the length. I hope it wasn't too bad. And of course, we made one last thing. We did, of course, make the spellbinding cloth. So we can just rub enchants off them. So it's not a big deal. We can just simply. So if we look at the helmet, we'll go with the chest. If we look at the chest, spellbinding cloth, you see that all it does is it's going to use a little bit of the durability of the cloth, and it makes the chest so it's unenchanted. So then I can look in there again, and now that's enchantable again. So we can put protection on and repair on, which is all I'm going to want on that really. Protection and repair. So that's going to be 64, 56, 56, 56, 128, and 56. Great stuff. Cheers. Bye.